It is 5 o'clock somewhere, and you've tuned in to Season 4, Episode 12 of BRC. For those of you who'd like to watch this episode, I highly recommend it. You can view Season 4 on our website, YouTube, Spotify, WhiskeyNetwork.net, and Zencastr. I'm Kerry Moynahan, and in this episode, we take you inside of one of the most vibrant whiskey gatherings in the West Coast, the 4th annual Fog City Social, held at the historic Rincon Center in San Francisco. Unlike your typical whiskey festival, Fog City Social offers something different, an intimate, curated experience, where every guest is treated like a VIP, and every pour is chosen from the most discerning enthusiasts. Here, brands bring their finest bottles, from rare single casks to bold new experiments, and the atmosphere is equal parts celebration and community. I had the chance to reconnect with old friends and meet new trailblazers in the industry, from Rory Glasgow sharing the tropical vibrancy of GlenGlassaugh Sandend, to Nora Ganley-Roper of Lost Lantern shining a light on American craft whiskey, to Peter Talhame introducing Bear Fight Whiskey, with Hollywood powerhouses Seth MacFarlane from Family Guy and Gabriel Macht from Suits behind the brand. Each conversation reveals just how diverse and exciting today's whiskey world has become. We'll also hear from Richard Lombard-Chimnall of Malone Whiskey, who is carrying forward the family legacy while celebrating Irish heritage. Zakai, pouring Filey Bay's elegant English single malt, and importer Peter Currie of Shand Imports, who opened a rare 31-year-old single grain from the closed Caledonian distillery. These stories remind us that whiskey isn't just about what's in the glass, it's about the history, innovation, and the people bringing it to life. So kick off your shoes, pour yourself a dram, and join me for this episode of Barrel Room Chronicles. Barrel Room Chronicles has just opened the doors to its brand new online whiskey shop, bringing stories behind the spirits straight to your glass. At the BRC Whiskey Shop, you're not just buying a bottle, you're sipping history from the hands of legends, like Rachel Berry of GlenDronach, BenRiach, and GlenGlassaugh, Richard Patterson of the Dalmore, the Teeling Brothers reviving Irish whiskey in Dublin, and Bernard Walsh, the storyteller behind the Irishman and Writer's Tears. These aren't just spirits, they're stories waiting to be poured. BRC Whiskey Shop, the drams we talk about, now delivered.
My name is Rory Glasgow, work for Brown-Forman as their national single malt Scotch whisky ambassador, representing GlenGlassaugh, BenRiach, and the GlenDronach distillery.
Fantastic. All right, so Rory, it is so good to see you again.
So good to see you again,
We've known each other for almost as long as you've been in the country, right?
I think, yeah, in LA. It was way back, one of those Pete and me. Yeah, I remember that.
And I saw you here last year.
Yep.
Did a great interview.
Yep.
Sound card died.
I'm so sorry.
So here we are again to do a repeat.
Deja vu.
But now, this year is better because we can talk about Rachel Sandend.
Absolutely. So
if you could, do a little of that.
So
we don't have to go too much into detail about the Sandend because Rachel did in our episode, but if you want to do a quick maybe tasting notes.
Absolutely. So GlenGlassaugh Sandend. Sandend's the name of the little beach that we sit upon. We're about a 3-minute walk from that lovely beach. How I would describe GlenGlassaugh in a nutshell, it's coastal, it's luscious, it's tropical, and really Sandend is going to give you that tropical. It's going to hit all three, but it's leaning more on that tropical feel. It's coconut, really mango, papaya, it's got a grapefruit note to it, and that crack of sea salt with the manzanilla casks coming into play, the bourbon barrels, and the Oloroso sherry casks all coming together to give you something that is honestly, I would say, one of the most unique whiskies in Scotland right now.
All right, let's take a little taste. I recall this being quite luscious.
I'm going to put this down for a second.
Actually, yes. And in fact, when I say luscious, I believe that's one of the words that Rachel used to describe it, was luscious.
Yeah, luscious. And that is a good way of thinking about it. This is the closest that you'll get to the actual distillery's new make spirit. So it has that sweetness because it's coastal, it's sweet, it's very tropical. There's 3 things happening at once. And so for me, it's just, luscious. It has that incredible vibrancy.
I actually feel a little teeny bit of coconut with the pineapple and I've never gotten that on any other whiskey.
And that's a young whiskey. Usually the tropical fruit emerges 25, 30 years. Yeah. But to see it in what we know is a relatively younger whiskey at a high proof, light in color, it punches so far above its weight. It's an amazing whiskey. It really is. Yeah.
Okay, so you have some older expressions here from BenRiach.
I do.
What's your favorite of the one you have, and I would like to try that one?
So one of the funnest ones that I've been enjoying this evening has been our BenRiach single cask from 1997. It's a 25-year-old virgin American oak barrel, which is unusual for Scotch to see virgin oak.
Yeah.
And what this gives us is almost like if you were a bourbon drinker this would be one that would be really, it would really give a run for its money in terms of bourbon. If I can do it, I got it. Boom, look at that skill. So cask strength, I believe this is coming in at around 50, what are we looking at here? 52.9%.
Oh,
so it is coming in at a lovely ABV, cask strength, non-chill filtered, natural color. And it just has so much oak extraction, but it's still BenRiach, it's still fruit, it's still going to be apples, pears, caramelized sugars, some oak spice, just lots of vanilla there as well. Really tasty.
Beautiful scent on the nose.
Really is.
I see our good friend Bino is here. He was there when we met, I believe.
That's right. In Pete and Meehan in LA, I remember that. In the railway station, right? You were at the, at Central Station, whatever it's called, down there.
Oh, wow.
Lovely. That's amazing. So if you gave that to a bourbon drinker that doesn't like Scotch,
oh, you're going to have that one.
I'll have to try that. Yeah, let's do it.
Well, Rory, it's always good to see you.
Good to see you.
You have a line coming up here, so
I know.
including Bino. So I'm gonna let you get back to it. But thank you so much for sharing this with me.
Thank you. You're so welcome.
And again, it's always great to see you.
My pleasure. Good to see you. Thank you.
Nora Ganley-Roper, and I am co-founder, general manager, and head blender at Lost Lantern.
Fantastic. And you're here.
And I'm here.
Our presence.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, so Nora, do you happen to have any relation to another famous female roper in the industry?
I don't. I wish I could say I did.
Have you met her?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
Love her. Okay, so I have heard about your whiskey.
Yes.
I've never had it before.
Cool.
So I'm very excited that you're here. And you have quite a lineup. There's 1,
Always,
2, 3,
yes.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Jesus, how many? I don't know.
Always, I think it's like 12 standard, a few extras always, so probably 16. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the brand and like how did you start it? When did you start it? Where can people find you?
So Lost Lantern is an independent bottler, which means that we buy whiskey from distilleries all across the country. We're not a distillery.
Okay.
We'll never be a distillery.
Okay.
What we do is we curate and blend. So we've bought whiskey from about 40 distilleries in over 25 states,
Wow.
and we centralize them all in Vermont. We're sifting through the 3,000 distilleries that exist, and then we either release them as a single cask or small blend from one distillery, or I blend the whiskey from multiple places together to showcase all the cool things that are happening that people can't find out otherwise.
That's
we
awesome.
launched in 2020,
Of
great
course.
time. But we are distributed in California, New York, Massachusetts, and a little bit in Vermont, and then we also sell through our
Only
website.
a little bit? That's home.
I know. It's a control state,
Yeah.
so it's hard. It's not worth it. Only our flagships go into stores there. But we have a tasting room in Vermont.
All right, so you gave me a little bit of one of your ryes.
Far-flung rye, which is
I love that
our
name.
flagship rye. This is a blend of ryes just from the Midwest,
Okay.
from 5 distilleries, because we wanted to showcase how amazing cool climate rye is.
Oh,
It's
wow.
more delicate. It doesn't. The heat brings out more of the peppery notes, whereas if it's cooler, it's a little more kind of grassy, eucalyptusy, and creamy.
It's got some legs, a little bit.
Yeah.
It actually has a little bit of a caramel scent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was like,
Yeah.
or is that the old whiskey that was in here before?
I mean, maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Except, oh no, because the last one I had was peated, so.
Oh, no.
No.
So definitely not that. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, I'm going in. Great job. That is really. I'm a big rye fan. For American whiskey, rye is where it's at for me. Of course, now also American single malts if they do it right.
Yes. I love
so-
single malt.
Yeah, so that is really good. It's got a nice spice, but it doesn't like punch you in the face.
No. I found it's a great gateway rye for people. It has all of the markers of rye, but it's not necessarily as punchy. So you get that
And
intro.
it does have a little bit of caramel on there.
Yeah.
I love that.
And
Right.
it's cast strength, so it is 60.8.
Really?
So
Okay.
we're not kidding.
Okay. Yeah. All
It's
right.
dangerous.
So we're gonna try this other one here in a second
Yes.
when I finish this bad boy. And tell me about that one.
So this is what we call it from our single distillery series, which means that we blend multiple barrels from one distillery. This is an apple brandy finished rye, 7 years old, and it showcases how apple brandy and rye work really well together. And it's from a distillery called New York Distilling Company that's
Okay.
based out in Brooklyn.
Oh, that's a really soft nose.
I love apple brandy
And
rye.
it's a little fruity.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Oh, wow, that's lovely.
Thank you.
That is lovely. I can see having this with apple pie
Yes. Oh, totally.
by a campfire in the winter to warm up. That's great. So, all right. So, when I do my full podcast, I always end with what's your 5-year plan? So we'll get there in a second. But so 2020, and then after you had your COVID start,
Yep.
how long did it take to actually get things going once the lockdown?
So we launched in October 2020. We did it all through 2 e-commerce partners. So we were supposed to ship April 2020. That didn't happen. And for us, there was a silver lining to launching in 2020 because if people were going to be whiskey nerds, that was the time.
Yes.
And so people were online reading about us, and we think that more people found us because of that. So we honestly did so much better in the early years than we expected, and we're continuing to grow and do more flagship whiskey and distribute it more widely.
Okay,
So
and how did you come up with the name?
the idea is that we're shining a light on whiskey that would otherwise be lost.
Ooh, I like that. Is that your tagline?
Shining a light on the independent spirit is our tagline. Yeah.
That is beautiful. Nora, you've got some great stuff here.
Thank you.
After I finish working, I'm going to come back and taste some more.
I will be here.
But thank you so much for sharing your story and your whiskey, and we will talk soon.
Sounds good. Thanks so much.
Peter Talhame. I work with Next Century Spirits. I'm representing Bear Fight Whiskey.
Fantastic. Okay. And your thing is...
There we go.
All right, so Peter, we are here with Bear Fight.
Absolutely.
And I've heard a little rumblings about this, but I don't really know too much about it. So what can you tell me about the brand, who's behind it?
Well, first of all, we have an incredible two-expression lineup of American whiskeys here. Behind it, we've got, excuse me, let me hold that right for you. We've got two really fun minds. So Seth MacFarlane from Family Guy, he's kind of some of the creative juice behind the brand, and Gabriel Macht, best known as Harvey Specter on Suits, is the face of the brand. And actually, if you're watching Suits LA, you'll see that Harvey is pouring the American single malt.
I did notice that.
This season, absolutely. So these two expressions, they're really unique. They set themselves apart in the marketplace. One, we have a Kentucky straight bourbon rested in reposado barrels. You don't find a lot of that. So we have a high rye bourbon that's a 21% rye, 9% malted barley, 70% corn. But that high rye profile is going to have a really nice handshake with the agave spice. Meanwhile, those nice bourbon sweet notes are going to hand off to the agave sweetness. So it's a beautiful marriage of two of the popular spirits that people are looking for in the market right now.
Let me take a little taste of that.
I think you ought to.
And do you know how Seth and Gabriel met? Like, how have they been friends long?
I don't know how that partnership got together. But if you see some of the ad campaigns, they're so hilarious. It's like a match made in heaven. Frank the Bear is the X Factor, and he really brings a lot of the energy to our crew.
All right. It's got a great nose.
Doesn't it, though? I might actually have to join you.
Yeah, no, have one. Here, I'll pour for you.
Let me...
Oh, no, you don't have it. You have it. All right, ready? Here we go. All right.
There we go.
Here we go. All right, cilantro.
Cheers.
Oh, wow. That's really good. I'm talking into my cup.
Yeah,
why do people not do reposado finishes more often? This is great.
I think, for too many years, there was just the wrong type of stigma associated with agave spirits. And I think the American market is really saying, hey, this is good stuff and we demand quality.
Yeah.
And, we're responding. So I think you're going to find more of that happening. I know some other people are now chasing us now that they see what can be done with such a beautiful blend.
And where's the distillery? Or is it?
So we are in Zebulon, North Carolina.
Never heard of Zebulon.
Hey, listen,
Well, hello, Zebulon.
we're putting it on the map.
All right. And then what's the other expression you have today?
Now, this is really fun. So we have an American single malt that is both peated and triple oaked.
Whoa.
You don't find a lot of that
No.
on the market. And what's so beautiful is you've got the number 3 selling American single malt in the nation, but it's priced to compete. It's less expensive than anything in the top 5. And, it's tough times out there right now. The dollars don't go as far in a whiskey as they used to.
That's true.
And so we really want to see quality at a price point meant for the American market.
How peaty is it?
I would say it is just peaty enough, right? You're really going to get some nice oak notes, so it's going to be just as smoky as it is peaty. And that difference
I
is...
just want to smell it.
You know what?
I'm doing peat. No, I'm doing peat glass tonight because once I do peat,
well, you know what? We'll do it in
my palate.
we'll do it in my glass.
All right.
And that way, I'll give you the nose on this one.
Yeah, once I have peat, I just get my palate shot. So I got
Listen.
Oh yeah, you can barely smell it.
It's not overwhelming, is what I'm telling you. So they peat smoke the barrels instead of the barley, right?
The oil on that. Okay, hold on.
Now are you ready for it? That's what I thought. That's what I
Just
thought.
teeny tiny bit.
It's
Okay,
too
okay.
lovely of an expression to pass up on.
I mean, you really can barely smell it. But that's interesting that they peat the barrels, not.
There you go.
Okay. Oh wow, that's really good.
I think an American single malt should be an homage to Scotch, but not a Scotch.
Yeah, no,
it should be
this is great.
distinctly American, and I think that's what we've created here.
I definitely have a big wood tone on here, and it's like it's not even a kiss of peat. It's like a blown kiss of
There
peat.
it is,
And
exactly.
it's just, oh yeah,
You know?
you won me over because I'm not a big peat head, unless it's a kiss or less. And this is
I'm
it.
so sad, It's a kiss from the dock, in fact, blown kiss from the dock.
There
right?
you go. Well, thank you so very
much.
It's great meeting you.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Pleasure.
Barrel Room Chronicles has just opened the doors to its brand new online whiskey shop, bringing stories behind the spirits straight to your glass. At the BRC Whiskey Shop, you're not just buying a bottle, you're sipping history from the hands of legends, like Rachel Berry of GlenDronach, BenRiach, and GlenGlassaugh, Richard Patterson of the Dalmore, the Teeling Brothers reviving Irish whiskey in Dublin, and Bernard Walsh, the storyteller behind The Irishman and Writer's Tears. These aren't just spirits, they're stories waiting to be poured. BRC Whiskey Shop, the drams we talk about, now delivered.
My name's Richard Lombard Chibnall. I'm the owner of the Molly Malone Whiskey Company.
So, Richard, tell me a little bit about the history of your brand, and what it is that you do for the brand, and is there a good story behind it?
There's plenty of stories, but I'm actually from my family were one of the first independents of the Scotch whisky industry. My mum, I believe, was the very first woman in the Scotch whisky industry.
Nice.
I joined in the late 80s and I developed single malt, single casks throughout the world. I got an opportunity to do Irish whiskey and in 2016, trying to think of what name we could come up with. When I first came up with a name, it was first heard the Irish beat the All Blacks in 2016 in rugby. And all I could hear in the crowd in the background was singing Cockles and Mussels, for which the leading character of that is Molly Malone. And I did a bit of searching around on it, and I couldn't see any trademarking on it. And I checked it out. And in Dublin House Millennium in 1988, they unveiled the Molly Malone statue. And at the same time, they declared June the 13th to be National Molly Malone Day. And I did some searches online, and in any Irish celebration, Cockles and Mussels is a centerpiece of celebrating being Irish. So from my independent background in Scotch whisky, we decided to implement the same ethics, really, putting quality over quantity. And we developed what we believe is what Irish whisky should be about. It's a fabulous style of triple distilled Irish whisky with a classic crisp note, with a classic note of crispness. So we went about searching for what whiskey we do. We came up with a small batch, so it's from more than one distillery. And what Molly Malone is, as a name, Molly Malone is a celebration of being Irish. And more than that, she doesn't, for me, she doesn't symbolize being from the north or from the south. She's not in any way religiously inclined. So our company mission is celebrating the history, culture, and rich taste of Ireland. And this is what we're trying to put together with this whiskey.
That's fantastic. So which one are we going to try here today?
Well, it's my Molly Malone small batch is the only
one right now.
We currently do. We are looking at, for me, a classic Irish whiskey would be the pot still.
Okay.
But we are looking at line extensions, and we did some malt extensions. But right now, our large brand is the small batch.
Okay. Well, I'd love to try that. And I'll hold that for you. And when did you first release it?
In 2020, probably, but right at the start of the lockdown.
Yeah.
And I live in a small island, and our whole island was locked down as well, so we couldn't get on and get off. So we basically did nothing with it for the first few years.
Wow.
And then I put it into the Eastern European market, into Poland. We did really well on that. We put it into Canada, in Quebec. We recently put it back into Canada. We sold out in 2 weeks in Quebec.
Oh, wow.
Luckily enough to find, through history, some connections with Pete Currie from Sandend Import.
That's a beautiful, light, like fluffy nose. I've never described it as
more
fluffy.
importantly, we've bottled it, and sometimes people in a whiskey show are looking for really high strength whiskies, but actually, a lot of times you'll hide the quality of the whiskey. So this is a classic Irish whiskey where the malt is quite a delicate malt. So we've matured it into second fill bourbon cask. Particularly the bourbon cask is from American white oak, Purpose Alba. That means the oak's already absorbed the coconut and vanilla tannins of the new wood. We wanted a neutral cask. Being second fill bourbon cask, generally charred. Some people pick up smoke notes, but I don't particularly pick any smoke notes. But what you do get, is, like I said before, the signature note of crispness. It's a beautifully light.
It is. It's
whiskey.
Gorgeous on the nose, and it's got some good legs.
Yeah, we bottled at 40% because we wanted you to taste the whiskey. If we made a higher strength whiskey than that, you're not going to taste it.
All right. Well, let's see. That's very nice. It's got a little teeny tiny little bite, but not like a bite, just a little a kiss, you might say.
Thank you.
It's very light. It's got a good mouthfeel. It's a little fruity. I love it.
Thank you.
A+.
Thank you very much. We have put together a bunch of the Chinese cocktails, which the most popular to date so far have been the old fashioned and the whiskey sour. But she also makes a fantastic Irish coffee.
Oh, nice. I bet it would, yeah. I can totally see that with that.
And again, one of the other light bulb moments we had, I live in a small fishing area, and the fishing boat crew, their engine had broken down. Anyway, as the tide came in, the boat starts coming in where we were drinking with some friends.
Oh, no.
Anyway, and they're cooking scallops in the back of the boat. We got a bit of a crack started, and he said, come on board and give us some free scallops, which is great. Asked me what I did. So at the time it was a Scotch whiskey, but I went and got my bottle of whiskey for giving scallops. And they started flash cooking the scallops with the whiskey. And I'm thinking, scallops, cockles, mussels, Irish whiskey, Molly Malone.
Yeah.
And it all kind of came together.
It's fantastic. Richard, thank you so much for sharing your story with me.
Thanks for your interest.
It's great. It's beautiful.
Thank you
I love
very much.
it. And I look forward to seeing more of it.
Thank you.
Thanks. Cheers. Okay, well, here I am at the Impex booth, which I saw the big bosses yesterday, Sam and Chris, over in Vegas. And today I'm here with...
My name is Zakai. I work as the local territory representative of JVS Imports. And here I'm today pouring for Impex Beverages, which is the importer.
Okay. All right, so it is so good to see you again. I saw you last summer at the Highland Games in Pleasanton.
Yeah, that was a great event.
It was a great event. It was very fun, very hot. And I've had, is it Filey?
Yeah, Filey Bay.
Filey Bay before at a tasting with Chris.
Oh, nice.
But that's the only time I had it. So I thought, let's give it another whirl, and you can tell me a little bit about it, because I would love to share it with the audience, because I loved it when I tasted it. So.
Absolutely. So let's pour a little dram
That's good,
first
that's
before
good.
we talk about it. So Filey Bay is a single malt distillery in Yorkshire, northern England. They actually started off as barley farmers and kind of worked with a famous whiskey consultant named Dr. Jim Swan to start their own distillery. So now they're a grain-to-glass distillery, growing their own barley and doing every step of the process at the distillery.
That's awesome.
One thing that's pretty unique about the barley they grow is that the field is very poor soil, which actually makes barley that's better for whiskey. So the flavor profile I get from this whiskey is a very creamy, rich, barley-forward single malt.
Okay.
And this expression you're tasting is the STR cask release, which is shaved, toasted, and recharred red
It's a
wine
very Jim
barrels.
Swan thing.
Yes, very Jim Swan. So you get that nice kind of toasted oak character, a lot of spice, and then you get that really rich, creamy kind of barley flavor underneath.
Yep, you sure do. That's delicious.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this whiskey, and it's
an easy drinker.
Yeah.
I can see this being an everyday go-to. What is the price point on this for retail?
Oh my goodness! I have my reference over here. I'm gonna just.
I think
sneak
I did that
off
to you
screen.
last time I talked to you too.
Yeah. So today we've partnered with a retailer, and the Filey Bay is retailing at $63.70. So very, very affordably priced.
Yeah. No, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, it was so good to see you again.
Good
Thank
to
you
see
so
you as
much
well.
for sharing your dram with me, and I'm sure I'll see you at another event soon.
Cheers.
Cheers.
My name's Peter Currie. I'm one of the partners in Shand Import LLC. We import all of the products on the table and a whole selection of other cognacs and tequila, mezcal.
Fantastic.
And I do everything from sticking a kilt on, doing shows, building pallets, driving the forklift, getting the orders, invoicing, receiving the stock, pushing the pallets. So,
Jack of all trades, they say, right?
well, probably more master of none is definitely true, but
All right. Peter, so as with our friend Richard over here, I saw you yesterday at the end, and we were all on the same plane coming over here to San Francisco this morning.
Yeah.
And I know you guys had another event before this today. Very busy week for you. So tell me a little bit more about your company and what expression we're going to be tasting today.
So today I'm talking about the Duncan Taylor range. Duncan Taylor is a blender, broker and bottler. So they're not a distiller. They don't own any distilleries. They buy from most of the distilleries in Scotland. So their main product is a blend called Black Bull.
Okay.
Black Bull has been going since 1864.
Wow.
And it was trademarked in New York in 1933. So straight after Prohibition, it was one of the first whiskies to come into the US. Actually owned by a long time by a gentleman called Abe Rosenberg, who was a New Yorker.
Wow.
And Abe was buying malt and grain whiskey and laying it down predominantly for Black Bull. The company was then purchased. Abe Rosenberg passed away. It was bought in the early 2000s by a gentleman called Ewan Shand.
Okay.
And Ewan set about reviving the Black Bull brand, but the company by that point had a treasure trove of old casks, particularly from the 60s and early 70s.
Wow.
Of Highland Park, Bowmore, Macallan.
Wow.
And closed distilleries like Caperdonic, Port Ellen, so just a real hidden treasure. So what we're actually going to try today is from a closed distillery, but this is a single grain whiskey.
Okay.
So this is from Caledonia.
Okay.
Like I say, they were the Black Bull, Duncan Taylor. They were producing blends. They needed malt and grain, and many grain distilleries were shut down in the 80s and 90s during just a period of consolidation, and it was a focus on efficiency. So the smaller grain distilleries got shut down, but Duncan Taylor still have stock going back to the 60s of every grain distillery that worked. And back then they were using predominantly wheat. So it's a single grain, but it's actually a mixture. The mash bill is wheat, corn, malted barley, and unmalted barley.
I don't smell peat.
Wheat.
Oh, wheat. I
Yeah.
don't smell peat.
So this is,
I don't smell peat, Peter.
and it's distilled in a column still rather than a pot still. And these beautiful old grain whiskies, you're basically getting something akin to a wheated bourbon that's been aged for 31 years in first fill American oak. Incredibly elegant, incredibly complex.
All right, I'm going to taste this. 31. I'm tasting a lot of old whiskeys this weekend. That's very complex.
Spectacular, isn't it?
It is.
So it's a single cask strength. So you can see we only got 239 bottles from this cask of 31-year-old Caledonian. Cask number 7823875, which was distilled or filled in April 1987.
Show that bad boy to the camera over there. All right.
So we only have 31 bottles left from this cask.
I believe it.
And then it's gone forever. So it's a little piece of history.
Yeah, and it's a little piece in my tummy.
And a little kind of lesser known category in single grains that I think people can really look out for, and you can get some really good value. You know, if that was a 31-year-old single malt, you're up over $1,000, you know, and this is probably going to be like 300, 250.
Do we know what kind of grain is the single grain?
So that's what I'm saying. The single grain is a bit of a misnomer because it's actually four grains.
That's right.
So it'll be wheat,
Single
corn,
grains,
malted barley and unmalted barley. You need a certain amount of malted barley to start the fermentation process. So it's probably like 3 to 5% malted barley. But yeah, just a beautiful way of making whiskey, but one that a lot of people look down their nose at because they think grain whiskey is just a filler and blend.
Yeah.
And I think this shows exactly how good they can be.
It's delicious. This is it's
spectacular.
It's a single beauty is what it is. So if somebody wanted to buy your products, where would you most likely be selling them?
Yeah, we tend to deal with independent retailers and specialists. But actually, a retailer we work with is called FineGoodSpirits.com, and they can ship most places throughout the country. Other independent retailers are the likes of K&L, Mission Liquors in LA, Binny's in Chicago. We work a lot with Specs in Texas as well, so it tends to be the independent, specialist where we have the most results. Certainly with the single cask stuff.
Oh yeah, that's where people go for. They want something good. Those are the places they go.
Yeah, it's the places all the geeks accumulate. We all end up there at some point.
Well, Peter, thank you so much for sharing this dram with me. It was delicious. It was so good to see you 2 days in a row, and on the plane.
Yeah, you're welcome, Kerry. Thanks for taking the time to speak to me.
Yes, and we will keep an eye out for your products and keep us posted on anything new.
Yeah, well, you should swing by our warehouse if you're ever in LA.
Oh, yeah.
I've got a bar. You're more than welcome.
Let's do it. All right. See you guys next time.
Cheers.
That does it for today's show. To read notes on this episode or learn more about our guests, please visit barrelroomchronicles.com. Want to interact with the show or have questions for our guests? Then ask them on our socials or send us an email. Or better yet, leave us a voicemail on our website. If you like what you heard, please rate and subscribe to the podcast. If you really liked it and you want to show your support, buy us a whiskey through our Ko-fi site at ko-fi.com/BRC or become an exclusive member of the Barrel Room Parlor. If you work in the whiskey or spirits industry or just have a deep passion for whiskey and want to share your spirits journey, register to be a guest through our website. Last but not least, please enjoy your spirits responsibly. Thanks for joining me. Until next time, Salanjaba.
Barrel Room Chronicles is a production of First Reel Entertainment and is available on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Amazon, YouTube, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.